Hey, so yeah, it's been a while since I've made a video, and now I'm here. And I guess this all started because well, recently I moved to Wyoming. Um, Went on a trip to Minneapolis, and then like on the way back, I decided to see my mom, and I ended up getting this job at this lodge in the mountains, like close to where she's at in Wyoming. And then I was there for like a little over a month or so, and ended up leaving because the job really sucked really bad. Um, Very long story. Yeah, which I'll probably get to later, not this moment. But yeah, and now I'm at another lodge in a different part of Wyoming. It is much better. Um, Less employees. Yeah, and less drama. And the bosses are pretty cool. Not really around that often, anyways. So, I was like walking around my boss on eggshells. The last job that I went to all the time. So this is so much better. Yeah. That's a short update on where I'm at right now. Um, Really, this video is more about a lot of changes I've had. Um, as you see in my other videos, I just posted the ones like right before leaving to go to San Francisco. After that, I didn't really post anymore. Didn't even feel a need to. I just kind of felt a need to like live my life, really. And, I didn't feel like I needed to really share a lot of it with people. You know, and also, yeah, I just did a lot of like inner searching and less sharing it with people. But yeah, I've had a lot of changes since that point. Of course, I mean, it's been years, but yeah. So when I was in Jacksonville, it was like right before, I started taking testosterone. I got to, San Francisco, and, after like a year or so of being there, I started, taking testosterone. I was on it for like almost 3 years. Um, and, and I started to notice, you know, after a while, that a lot of the changes I was having in my body, I wasn't really agreeing with entirely, and a lot of, also with my body, but also like with my identity and like how other people identify me and how I see myself, versus that. And a lot of the physical changes, I kind of wish would like slow down, because I started realizing that I really liked being androgynous, and that I was losing all of the androgyny I had, you know, and I was also losing a lot of the identification, of being like a queer woman. And it's not necessarily that I identify as entirely as a woman, or or entirely as a guy. I kept feeling like a middle ground, but I was being pushed more towards being a guy, you know, and getting a lot more attention from gay men than I really wanted. Um, it's nice and it's flattering, but I started realizing, gay men are cute, but I'm not really entirely attracted to them, in the way that I'm attracted to women. And, you know, and also, I'm not straight, so, like, it was just really difficult, getting into relationships or getting into anything, like that with people, because I identified more strongly with, like, the queer women culture, yet, I was kind of I started feeling shunned by them, for the way I identified. Even if they knew I was trans, it was like, you know, I wasn't included in the group, in the conversation, and any type of thing about being queer and like woman, like that I still identified with. It wasn't really clicking. So, and yeah, the physical changes, I started, noticing that I was looking more like burly and manly than I really wanted to be. Um, and when I was in Jacksonville, Florida, it was a lot more difficult to be like genderqueer and to fully accept myself regardless of what other people had to say. And I think it was because more people were more vigilant in making sure that they knew that they didn't agree with like whatever I looked like or identified with, you know. And I realized after I started transitioning that my biggest problem in Florida wasn't the fact that like I wasn't transitioning or looking male, or looking more ones, other than like being both looking, I was looking, whatever. So the issue was basically that I was more frustrated with other people's, you know, uh, with other people not agreeing with me being in the middle than I was actually like, not agreeing with being in the middle. Like I was okay with who I was and how I looked, but it was always other people, you know, and it made me feel unsafe, and I was, tired of constantly feeling like I had to give answers to people, you know, people who were close to me and people I don't even know, and why does it matter what they think about me, but for some reason they feel very strongly about how they think about me, you know? So, yeah, and I got to San Francisco, and I started transitioning, and like I don't regret that I started taking testosterone, and there's some things about it that I did like, but it got to a point where it was like going too far, and like, if there were a way to take it and still be androgynous but still have some of the things I was getting from testosterone, then like, that would have been cool, but there isn't. So, I mean, the only way really is to take it for a little while and to stop, and you're still kind of left with, some of the effects afterwards, and that's how things are right now. And I stopped taking it like 6 months ago, and I still have some. It still kind of looks like I took it, but I do notice like I definitely changed a lot since that point. I've definitely like reverted back, and I'm actually like okay with that, and I feel like I'm so much happier with myself, you know, now that I did that. And yeah, it was just like it was also difficult being in Florida and not seeing other people who were in the middle, or not hearing a lot about that. Most of the guys that I knew that were trans wanted to be fully male, wanted to be stealth, didn't want to be anywhere in the middle, you know, and even if they said that they were okay with other people being in the middle, it always seems like that, there was some comment always came up about people in the middle, or there was always some comment coming up about like trans guys that, still look feminine, or, things like that. And I didn't fully agree with it, but I did take it into heart a lot, and it did affect like the way that I saw myself. It did affect how comfortable I felt with being myself fully, even around other trans guys, Yeah, but I get to San Francisco, you meet all types of people there, all types of like people who are who are identify as trans, and are all over the spectrum, and it just kind of opened up my world and the way that I identify myself, because I was able to see reflections of how I felt. And yeah, so now I'm here, and I'm so much more happier, and the more that like the more that I actually do revert back, I am actually happier. And it took like going through that process, in order to get here, in order to see what I really want. and that's been good for me so far. And now I'm in Wyoming, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, wow, you're in Wyoming, how's that going for you? And it's actually been going all right. Like, I mean, I have met like a few people here, who don't really agree or don't understand the whole gender, you know, expression that I have, entirely. But not very many people. Most people here, they see you and they see you as a person, and if you're a good person, then that's all you need to be, is a good person. It doesn't matter like how you identify, or how you appear, you know. And I've met a lot of people who identify me as a guy. I mean, a lot of people who identify me as a girl, and it doesn't really matter to me. And most of the time, I would actually rather be Dean, but like, I'm not offended by being, referred to as either. Um, and I mean, so far it's been like kind of easier just to let people just identify me as whatever, but I don't feel like I'm like hiding myself or anything for that reason. Um, yeah, but for the most part, like, people here don't really care, and I don't know if just the times are changing and everybody's more aware of these things, probably given like, media in some way, even though there's a lot of portrayals that I still feel like, aren't seen. Like, I don't see a lot of genderqueer people identified within mass media. Um, I don't ever see that, actually. It's more like one way or the other, And I've seen a lot of trans guys seen in very good, like, very, like, like, good ways in society, and then like when you see trans women, it's and you see them in the media, it's totally like different, like they're more victimized, and yeah. But usually the guys I see in mass media, they're like, oh, they've changed to fully male, and this is what they want to be, and there's nothing else in the between, and you know, um, but yeah, so I don't know. That's where I'm at right now, um, and I'm actually so much happier now, and I don't know. I think I just wanted to make this video because I don't see this a lot, At least I haven't really been on YouTube in a while. But when I first started deciding, I'm going to stop taking testosterone, I started looking up videos of like, people who have done that before, guys who have done that before, or guys that just feel in the middle and they don't want to, take testosterone. And I think, just about every time I looked up videos, for people that are genderqueer, they're always talking about wanting to transition and to be, you know, fully male, and I didn't really see a lot of however I identified. And I just got over the fact that I needed to see that, and I just decided I'm going to do it and see what happens. And, also wanted to see videos to see, like, physically how it changes, over time, and the effects other people went through, you know, emotionally and physically for that reason. And it seems like most of the people that I've seen a couple of videos of guys where they transitioned back, but it's like they kind of disappeared from YouTube for a while, and so it isn't like I saw how that was going for them. But then again, like, I didn't make videos of it either, so, I am now. But, yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm at. And, I just don't, I guess I just want people to just see this and to know that it's okay, and, like, there's no reason, why you should, like, feel like any resistance about just being yourself, regardless of what other people might think or say about it. You know, like if you know in your heart that's what you want and that's what you need to do, then do it. And you know, and and yeah, there's also, I guess, another thing that just really bothers me is to see people in our own communities who are also like resistant of the changes of other people, although they're going through their own changes. They're resistant of the changes of other people. Like, I've seen a lot of resistance towards people wanting to be genderqueer, or a lot of resistance towards people who want to transition and then go back, you know, things like that. So, yeah, we're all fluent people, you know, you go through all types of changes throughout our lifetime, and I think it's just good to be like open to those changes and accepting of those changes, in order to help build our community stronger, you know. And yeah, I just think that the more people see this, you know, the better it is. And yeah, so that's all I have to say so far. And yeah, I'll see you guys around. Um, yeah, I'm in Miami, and so I'm probably gonna be like showing you videos of what Wyoming's been like so far. And okay, cool. Take care. Bye.